video, and it's the SNA podcast. This is episode 17 of the AEW Dynamite review part 3. And let's begin off with the recaps from start to finish. We start off the kickoffs with the contract signing segment for their match at All Out. We have Powerhouse Hobbs and Miro signed a contract, exchanged some insulting words with one another. They got into a brawl altercation, and then the security tried to break it up, but they only could do so much, like import the security guards, and one of them being Simon Miller, and then he even admitted on his Ups and Downs video, I believe it was Monday Night Raw Ups and Downs, he mentioned that he got leveled right into Barry Barricade by Powerhouse Hobbs and got beaten the shit out of, like any other typical security guard. And yeah, this was Simon's original debut. I was like, finally, Tony Khan answer our dying request of putting Simon Miller into AEW, like either there or WWE. But I'm happy that he made that appearance. And then we also have Jungle Boy Jack Perry against Hook, which I believe Jungle Boy Jack Perry won. And he even took a shot at CM Punk about ramming his opponents right into the glass, looking into the grass, like. And then he even took a shot at CM Punk being too sensitive when it comes to him taking bumps. And then yeah, he retained. And then that's when, but after. Before he won the match, Hook slammed him right to that same windshield, and he took that bump and had shattery glasses right over his back. And then also CM Punk defended his Real World Championship against Samoa Joe, which he retained with the Pepsi Plunge, a finishing move that he put away opponents in a long time, like a move that he put away opponents from almost 20 years ago. But yeah, after I heard, and then on. Been reported in the wrestling news and all around the internet that CM Punk and Jungle Boy got into an altercation, and then that's when CM Punk asked him like, "What you said out there?" And then that's when Jungle Boy's like, "You heard what I said," and then that's when CM Punk said, "I could beat your ass right now," and then that's when it got face to face shoving each other, and then it's been also reported that Samoa Joe had to break it up, and then Miro got into CM Punk's face like, what happened about Jack Perry? And he was like, CM Punk's like, oh, now you have a problem too? Like, how about we sell this outside? And that's when the security escorted him into his locker room, and I believe they escorted Jack Perry outside of the Wembley Stadium after their matches, I believe, the respective matches, I should say properly. And then we also had Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and Hikaru Shida and Tony Storm and Saraya into a Fatal 4-Way match. And this is when it gets good and interesting about the future breakup of the Outcast, which I understand why I said future. I say they basically broke up all because Tony Storm accidentally punches Saraya's mom, and then Saraya didn't like that, so she sprayed her in the eyes, and I believe she pinned her for the 1, 2, 3 to become the new AEW Women's World Championship. I'd like to congratulate Saraya for such a great achievement, I should say, and then for such a great achievement, and I hope she holds that title like even more longer than she ever held the Divas title in WWE. But nothing against WWE, just saying like she should deserve to have a lengthy reign as women's champion, because she really didn't have a fair shot, unless you count NXT. But I don't know anything about that because I don't remember. I haven't seen her on NXT, and let alone watching her become the inaugural women's championship of that brand on WWE. But yeah, this was probably the greatest win, because not only she became new champion and in another promotion, but also winning into her home country in the UK. And then her and her parents celebrated her latest win, and it's been reported like with Saraya being in interviews that her father even cried. And he's a guy that would never cry in his life, and he cried tears of joy of his daughter's latest victory of the championship. And also, we also had Sting and Darby Allin taking on Christian Cage and Swerve Strickland in a tag team coffin match. They which they won, but when it was during the middle of the match, they started hyping up that Mercedes Moné, aka Sasha Banks, was in the audience, having herself a great time, even though she's in crutches and have her leg brace. But she still looked like she's slowly but surely recovering from her match back in at Resurgence, and it's been posted of an image of her still wearing that leg brace and then the ankle brace, I should say, and the crutches. But Tony Khan said, even admitted, he would love to have her in this roster, whether he signed her under a deal and be all elite or do a partnership with New Japan. But partnership with New Japan just to make an appearance over to face either one of his best women's wrestlers into his roster, whether it being Toni Storm or Saraya, they have some history from back in their WWE days. And even Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, which she requested that she wanted to face her, ever since she walked out of WWE with Naomi, which she now goes by Trinity Fatu on Impact Wrestling, which she's holding the Impact Knockouts Women's Championship. That's another story for another day. Probably going to talk about that on the new wrestling news video. I'm not sure about being this Thursday, but keep y'all's fingers crossed. Was looking forward for that. But anyways, we got I believe FTR taking on the Young Bucks with FTR with the Young Bucks, which was the best match, and amazingly, which was really good, FTR retained, judging by looking at the recaps and the highlights of this past Sunday's All In, FTR retained. You would probably expect it, most of us wrestling fans probably expected the Young Bucks win this rubber match and finally becomes the AEW Women's Champion. I mean, not AEW Tag Team Champion, my apologies. But anyways, this is when they handshake it out. They compliment how great of a tag team they are, and I believe the match was next before the AEW World Championship match. I cannot really think of nothing else. Oh yeah, the Stadium Stampede. It was with the Best Friends, Eddie Kingston and Penta against the Blackpool Combat Club, which was a really entertaining match. It wasn't per se if you were literally in the field in the stadium, like in a football field, but it would still look like a match that you expected in the first place, would be in no DQ and then be inside the stadium where they're taking place of the pay-per-view, and then still have a ring in the ringside area and inside the arena, and then it ended, and the match ended with Orange Cassidy had a fistful of broken glasses, hit it head first right into Claudio's cranium. No offense, and no disrespect, but he hit him with the orange punch for the 1-2-3, and then he got the win. And then this is when we got the AEW World Championship. Oh yeah, and first off, like I said before, MJF and Adam Cole against Aussie Open, which MJF finally hits the kangaroo kick. Adam Cole and MJF did the double clothesline before shouting it out. Clothesline and I believe Kyle Fletcher, which Adam Cole pinned him for the 1-2-3, and they became the new Ring of Honor Tag Team Championship. I want to congratulate them. I'm better than you, baby, for capturing the gold, or should I say silver with black straps, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I want to put that out there. And yeah, they actually did. They finally won with the double clothesline, which I thought they'll kick out and then won, and then they'll probably get screwed out by not being on the same page. But anyways, we're gonna get to the World Championship match, which ended in a draw. I thought it was like a 20-minute limit draw, but no, it was probably was better than that, but still it was rigged. rare. It was a very rare and odd. With both of them telling each other a double clothesline, they hit the double clothesline, and then they pinned each other with their arms on each other with the 1, 2, 3, and then both of them agreed that we're not going to let these fans walk out of here being disappointed about the main event, and we're going to do a rematch, which they did. The referee fell down. Adam Cole and MJF was in the ring fighting, and then it looks like still fighting, and then MJF had the advantage, tried to go for the Dynamite ring, but he stopped himself. So a good side started telling him and bringing him down, bringing his evil side down, and saying like, no, you don't want to do this. You want to do this fair, and plus he's your best friend and the only best friend you ever had in your whole entire life, and he stopped it, and then that's when Roger Stahl low blowed MJF, and then Roger Stahl's like, come on, hit him with the championship. And he's like, I'm not gonna do that. And he's like, go ahead and do it. Like, what, are you insane? Like, you've been looking forward to this for the past couple of years, ever since you made your AEW debut. And then he was like, well, I'm not like, if I win the championship because of that, I refuse. And then they started arguing. MJF hit the most devastating move in all sports entertainment to retain, and I believe his best friendship with Roddy is officially over, probably for now. And then that's when MJF and Adam Cole embrace and hug. But yeah, Hug didn't celebrate with Adam Cole holding one half of the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championship, while MJF holding the other, and MJF has the AEW World Championship, and that's the recap. Now we're going to do the recap and the highlights of that's the AEW Dynamite. We were going to review the show, which it started off with Jon Moxley taking on Commander. With on his corner, we had Alex. Which he had this manager, Alex Fauti Albrahentes. Yeah, that's what his name is. Alex, which it was really good. Like, you probably thought Jon Moxley probably would win this match in less than 5 minutes, but no. Commander really did showed him why he should fight him on that night, which was AEW Dynamite, and then hit him with flying head scissors and springboard arm drags and hurricane ranas and flying head scissors, and then this is when Jon Moxley. Well, yeah, we're gonna continue a little bit on the beginning of them, and not to bore you for long, but we're gonna talk about Jon Moxley had a couple strikes in, hit him with punches and knife edge chops, and then also hitting him with suplexes and hip toss, but Commander started hitting him with crossbody, and then he brought him back in the ring, and then let's see. But Jon Moxley got him on the top rope. He raked his back like if he was shaving his back the wrong way, like with the sideways, like trying to make him bleed to death right onto his back, which was very dangerous. And then that's when Commander hits the right hand, and then that's when Jon Moxley fell down on the floor right into the canvas. And then this is when Commander looks like about to hit his finishing move, which was the diving, like the Can cartoon diving tornado splash. But Jon Moxley picked him up. He hits him with a flip over suplex, looking like something what Butch would do, like a signature move that Butch would do, I should say. This is when Jon Moxley started flexing his muscles and getting ready to hit him with his fist, and then he started pulverizing him, started headlocking, started punching him, then started Irish whipping him right into Barricade, which is probably past the 100, probably 102, because I think there was a Barricade counter on the Raw review. On the Raw review, and then And then it's probably gonna be this Saturday with Simon Miller gonna do a funeral memorial with Barry Barricade this Saturday, and and us fans of Simon and the What Culture wrestling community and and Barry Barricade and also being fans of the ups and downs. I would like to send my love to send my idiotically goofy, whatever you want to call it, condolences to Barry Barricade at this most goofiest time. Yeah, goofy wrestling for life. But anyway, back to the review of Jon Moxley versus Commander, and then as Jon Moxley starts stomping on him right into his head. This is when he started going back, selling it like a king. Like, even though he probably didn't, it wouldn't even matter if he oversell it so beautifully, because like it didn't seem like it really hurt. Like, but Jon Moxley tried to go for a sit-out pile driver right onto the canvas, but Commander was trying to counter it, but Jon Moxley started elbowing him. He tried to go for a pile driver, but he flipped it out into a face buster. Commander finally got back up. He was hitting his comeback moves. Let's see. And then this is when he started hitting his forearms. He started uppercutting, hitting Jon Moxley right into the gut. He tried to run up and try to go for a clothesline, but that didn't bring Moxley down. So he tried to go for another one, which it still did it the second time. He thought third time might be a chop, but he tried to go before he do that. He tried to go for a chop. I think he was probably trying to distract him, but Jon Moxley was first. He tried to. And he first, and then he cuts him off. He tried to go for a running clothesline. This is when Commander ducks, and he hits him with a massive clothesline flying in the air, like someone Dolph Ziggler would do. And then this is when Commander tried to go for a roundhouse kick, but he kicked him on the other side, or a hook kick, I should say. He kicked him right to his knee, and then he was standing on both knees, and then that's when he hits him with a running snapmare DDT or double knee DDT, and then this is when Commander, I guess I'll assume in his signature move, which I believe it was called it was some kind of a reverse fireman's carry, basically. Yeah, it was when he flipped him up and he flipped him over with the double knees with his gut first hitting the knees, and then he tried to go for a 3, but he only got the 2-point triple, if not 9 times the 9s into the match. This is when he tried to go for his finisher. Jon Moxley reversed out of it. Jon Moxley go for a sit-out pile driver. He thought that was going to be it with a 1 and a 2, and then the Commander kicked out of that. And then Jon Moxley started hitting him with the elbow strikes, trying to make Commander surrender with a knockout. And then that's when he started hitting the rear naked choke, or the rear naked sleeper, like what Excalibur said. And then that's when Commander started trying to elbow Moxley, and then that's when he flipped over. He grabbed him by his arm and hit him the arm bar. He started tapping and then Aubrey Edwards had no choice but to tell the bellkeeper to stop the match and ring the bell to stop the match, because he tapped and Jon Moxley won by a submission. And they started hyping up about whoever walks out as the AEW International Championship. They're gonna face Jon Moxley next week, I believe, next Saturday for the AEW not Saturday, Sunday, I believe, because Saturdays is where Collision comes on. But this Sunday, or this coming Sunday, or next Sunday, or whatever I believe it's this coming Sunday. Like it's gonna be Jon Moxley against Penta or Orange Cassidy. Whoever walks out on tonight's main event is AEW International Champion. But like, what do you think about this match, and who you think is gonna win at this Sunday or the Sunday after? I think it's this Sunday. They were hyping up ever since All In, because that's what they would do. Wrestling promoters would do. They start advertising their next pay-per-view during the mid time when they're in the middle of hosting their pay-per-view their pay-per-views live. They started hyping up their pay-per-views, their next pay-per-views during their live, and they started to do that until the day of the pay-per-view, which was probably 7 days away. That's the first time I saw a wrestling company outside of WWE that have a pay-per-view a week after they had just had a pay-per-view. But unless you can count New Japan Pro Wrestling, but then again, I haven't really watched New Japan's product. I only hear about the wrestlers who wrestled there, whether if they future WWE wrestlers or former WWE wrestlers. But let's move on to the next slide right here. We have and he was talking about his match at the Stadium Stampede match, and he did what he got to do to give his team the victor and end the shenanigans this evil bullying shenanigans from the Blackpool Combat Club. And then he's also gonna finish the cleaning up against John Moxley at this Sunday. I believe at this Sunday's pay-per-view All Out for the AEW International Championship. But first, he's going to go after a certain friend that he teamed with at last Sunday's premium live event. No, that's not WWE. This is a pay-per-view. This is actually a professional wrestling, normal, typical professional wrestling stuff. And at the next pay-per-view, he said he's gonna go through Penta first, and then they have their match in the main event. And then he said, like, this Sunday when he faces John Moxley, he said he's not going to be the same Orange Cassidy that was 4 years ago when he made his AEW debut and his on-screen national television debut as well. Like, this is not going to be the same Orange Cassidy. This is going to be the most dangerous and scariest freshly squeezed orange wrestler, or self-proclaimed orange wrestler, because we all know that he's really not a orange. It's all part of his skit. But anyways, Kenny win and retain his international championship and hold that title for probably for a year and be the longest reigning at this time is the international championship. And we're gonna move on to this backstage segment exclusively on AEW.com last night at AEW All In and this is when the Young Bucks compliment FTR on they did one hell of a job of fighting and beating them and retaining their AEW Tag Team Championships. And then, like, this was y'all's night, but it was supposed to be our big night. But we want to congratulate and honor y'all as the best, or even the greatest tag team in the world. And then this is when FTR, I believe Cash Will said, "Oh, holy shit, like, it's the Young Bucks." Like, and then this is when Dax Harwood was getting to the point, like, he was like, "Look, I know y'all were expecting to win these, but we want to give you our respect and our professionalism as professional wrestlers." Like, and then he was like, we just lost. Like, what a failure for us. Like, we basically created the show 5 years ago, and we lost into the second All In in history. Like, and FTR was like, we understand that, and he's like, And then he's like, we owed you that though. Like, and you all were the better man that night. And then we're gonna, if you excuse us, we're gonna rest our back. And then this is when I believe it was Bullet Club Gold with Rock Hard Juice Robinson, the Guns, and Switchblade Jay White came into the locker room. They're like, well, what we have here. And then this is when they said, this is when I believe Jay White said this. Wow, what up, you guys? And then this is when Jay White started chanting. Jay White and the Guns started chanting like, oh, yeah, like biggest victory. Yeah. And then this is when Jay White's like this is the winners room. And then for FTR, I want to congratulate for retaining y'all's tag team championships. And then y'all can stay here, but Nick and Matt, like, you should leave. And then that's or make a super kick out of there. And then he's like outside the waiting the women's room. Like, I believe he said you should be y'all should be waiting out into the women's room, like, for y'all's embarrassing loss. Like, and he's like first it was this, and then that, and then Kenny Omega and Hangman Adam Page and Kota Ibushi lost to the Me and Juice and Konosuke, like, which I forgot to recap onto the highlights that I saw from AEW. But yeah, the Bullet Club Gold beat the Golden Elite from this past Sunday in a 6-man tag match, and then this is when they said, like, it looks like the Elite is starting to crumble down, and because first it was the Young Bucks losing, and then next it was the Golden Elites, Kenny Omega, Hangman Adam Page, and Kota Ibushi losing, and then he's losing. And then this is when he said, this is kind of cute for with a 4. And then this is kind of cute for FTR and the Young Bucks. But 1, 2, 3, 4 is 4 of them. And then there's 1, 2, 3, 4 of us. And why not we do an 8-man tag team match next week on Dynamite? Which I believe he said Dynamite. Let's see. Yeah, it was next week because he said Jay White set the challenge for Uncle Dax Harwood, and he proudly accepted. Like, yeah, we accept. Like, yeah, so we can shut y'all's mouths for good, and not keep bragging. This is the winners' room, and etc. And like they would normally do every time they win, and then be sore losers when they lose, basically. But yeah, what do y'all think about where this little feud between Bullet Club Gold and FTR and the Young Bucks is gonna head off to? Y'all let me know down in the comments below, and we're gonna move on to next. We're gonna move on to let's see right here. This is when we had Chris Jericho on the mic cutting the promo about his match. But this is when we get to backstage, when they start showing showing this recap video with us, Tony Storm accidentally hitting Soraya's mom, and that's when Soraya hit sprayed her in the eyes with the Outcast paint spray, and then she got the victory. But yeah, this is when Renee Paquette interviewed Tony Storm into the backstage area. And then this is when Renee Paquette asked her about the matter, and And she was saying like, we see you visibly upset. What happened? Which transfer? And then she was like, don't give me. And then Tony Storm started complimenting and congratulating Soraya, saying like, don't get me wrong, like Soraya, I'm very happy for Soraya, and she really deserves that. And she is who she is. And she went completely off, and she forgot about her performance all in. And then Tony Storm's like, I'm sitting here with nothing, like no title, no friends, no anything. And then Ruby, and she's like, and Ruby Soho walked out and left me, and then I can't trust nobody, like no trust. Like I cannot trust her or Soraya or because I don't really even trust Dr. Britt Baker DMD. Like maybe you can not you can untrust Dr. Britt Baker DMD, but like what? Like, but you kind of have some trust issues. Like, I know it left a awful scar on you when you've been betrayed by your own friends, Soraya and Ruby Soho. Like, but that doesn't mean you have some trust issues and untrust everybody that you see. Like, because there's some people out there that you can trust, that you can still be who you supposed to be. Well, at least in kayfabe, I should say this, because I don't want to make it look like I'm taking this very seriously when I'm not. I'm just invested into this wrestling show, just like I am with WWE, and I want to share it with you guys, of course, obviously. But yeah, back to the interview with Renee Paquette, the backstage interview. And then this is when she walked out, and she nearly. And then this is when this is when Renee Paquette started talking to her about saying something about trust, and she was like, will you shut up about that? Like, I can't. There's no trust. There are no trust. Like, I can't trust anybody now. Now he can't do anything. Like, and everybody's not coming. Like, I can't. I just can't. Like, and like, but Renee Paquette's calming down about this. Like, and I really can't trust nobody. And he's like, and she nearly threw her shoe right at Renee Paquette, which I don't know why she needed to do that when she was trying to understand her and trying to ask a couple of questions like a journalist would do. But yeah, where this is going? Could we possibly see a women's world championship match between these two former Outcast teammates? Sorry, Miss Jackson. Ooh. And yes, that was a shout out to Simon Miller doing his nickname and catchphrase with Soraya and Tony Storm and Ruby Soho. But yeah, who you think about this feud with Soraya and Tony Storm fighting probably at Full Gear, which is my prediction for this feud with two best friends turning bitter rivals. Like, but yeah, y'all let me know down below what you think. I think maybe it was too soon for them to split up. I was like, maybe Tony Storm should become women's world championship at the beginning of 2024, and then probably like around the spring or summer, she turns on Tony Storm and be jealous that she's the women's world championship, and then she beats her like probably dishonestly, like any jealous typical best friend heel. But yeah, y'all let me know down below, and we're gonna talk about Chris Jericho cutting his promo about last Sunday's about his All In match against Will Ospreay, and then this is when they recap that Sammy Guevara, even though he tried to help Jericho get the win, and when Will Ospreay, even when he grabbed onto the ropes, when Jericho hit the walls of Jericho, like Sammy Guevara lifts his hands off the ropes when the referee wasn't looking, when Don Callis started distracting the referee, just like any manipulating slick heel would do. But despite Sammy Guevara's very generous assistance, Will Ospreay didn't tap out to the walls of Jericho. He got out of it, hitting his finisher with the win. But this is when Jericho cuts a promo about the man. And he's like, after only a few days ago, he's joined the Like, I'm back here from enjoying the spectacle and the biggest event with AEW at Wembley Stadium, which was All In, and then he was saying like, and that number was Shoot Baby, right? And then this was I was facing Will Ospreay, one of my favorite wrestlers into this generation of wrestling, and we put out a very very fantastic match, and then it was a match that we will never ever forget. But there's the one thing I would forget about it, and that's how I treated my brother Sammy Guevara, and after the match, when I pushed him away, even though he was regardlessly helping me, which was Jericho's word, of course, but yeah, helping me. And I would like to say I'm sorry, and I want you to come out here so I can say it in your face. Say it in your face. I don't say I'm sorry to your face and get this out of my chest. And then that's when Sammy Guevara came out. This is when. But yeah, this is when Sammy came out. Jericho said, let's see. He's like, I apologize, and then just because I lost to Will Ospreay, I never should have done that in the first place. It doesn't matter that I lost, and I shouldn't have taken it out on you. And then you always have my back, and you've been my brother, and we've been the sex gods from the past 4 years, ever since AEW debuted as Dynamite from back in the fall of 2019, and then he said, like, and I saw what you did with the bat, and I saw what you did onto right here, right now, when you were breaking the rope break with Will Ospreay having both hands right on the ropes, and then Jericho was hitting the walls while Don Callis was trying to distract and trying to give Will Ospreay the unfair advantage. Give him their fair advantage, which is Jericho's unfair advantage, distracting Aubrey Edwards in the process, and then he also said, we don't, even though we don't lie, cheat, and steal here, which was a wink, wink, nudge, nudge, taking the shot at WWE and Eddie Guerrero, like. When he said that we normally don't lie, cheat, and steal, but you did something that was totally unselfish that nobody, not even the rest of the Jericho Appreciation Society, would have done for me, despite turning my back on him and turning my back just to try to join Don Callis and his wrestling family. And then this is when he pulled out his hand for a handshake, to see if he accepts, and then that's when the fans start chanting, "Hug it out, hug it out." And then Sammy Guevara didn't look convinced at first, but he thought of it, and he shook his hand, and he was like, "I told you," and he's like, "See, I told you, Chris. Like, I told you that I have your back no matter what. Like, and a little push is not gonna break us apart." And then this is when Excalibur's like, "Yeah, there you go, Sammy, like a true friend." And then Jericho's like, "I feel so much better now." And then Jericho, and I'm replaying the Will Ospreay match over and over again in my head, and then I've been thinking and saying, what could I have done to win that match? Maybe I should have zigged instead of zagging, and then maybe I should have rolled him up and held him tighter, pulled his tights with the most devastating move in all sports and entertainment. Like maybe you could have hit him with Floyd the baseball bat even more harder to the point that he wouldn't kicked out of 2.999, and then I could have did everything. And then Sammy Guevara was like, whoa, Chris, like, can you say that last part one more time? Like, I should have rolled him up harder. And then that's when Sammy Guevara was like, no, the other part. I know, not that part, the other one. Like, maybe we could have went a little hard with the Floyd baseball bat. Like, and Sammy Guevara was like, yeah, that one. And so it's funny about that because when I was watching it, like, and then when he stuttered, he was like, when I was watching, I thought of it in my head, maybe, and just maybe hit him with a little harder with the Judas effect. Maybe you could have had it done, Mr. Jericho. Like maybe just a little bit. It hit him with the Judas effect just a little bit more harder. And this is when Jericho's like, oh, well, like, no offense, Mr. Guevara. Like, I want to get you assaulted what I'm about to say. And I asked you to do something, and then it doesn't tell the way I envisioned it when I ordered you to do it. And then that's when Sammy Guevara's like, oh, I envisioned it. Like, how did you feel? It was me leaving my pregnant wife in Orlando, flying to London to have your back the whole time? And then Jericho's like, no, like I didn't want you to leave your wife, pregnant wife, to Orlando to fly over to the UK at Wembley Stadium to have my back to be a part of the show, which is the biggest show of the originally over 81,000 fans. Something that fans didn't write out an event. Like something that the AEW locker room would have killed for to be on that spot. And that's when Sam Guevara's like, he's like, I can agree on that. Like there's a lot of guys in this locker room would have died and killed for to be die or kill for to be in that spot at Wembley Stadium. And they would have loved to be on the show in general, of course. And that Sunday, it had me think maybe if I wasn't so worried about you having your back, maybe I could have wrestled on the match. If that was the case, if I was going to make an appearance at the biggest wrestling event, like over any wrestling promotion, like maybe I should have been on that match and been scheduled into any match in that matter. And then that's when Jericho responded back saying, maybe you could have continued my advice and do what I tell you to, I ordered to do. Maybe next year and next year's All In, maybe you will wrestle into the Wembley Stadium on that particular show. And then Sam Guevara's like, well, I like the sound of that, but I'll make sure that I follow your advice and learn how not to lose on the biggest show you ever done, taking an insulting shot at the Ocho, the former AEW and former 6-time WWE World Champion. And then that's when Jericho looked at him in shock, and he couldn't believe that he would absolutely roast him like that. And then Jericho responded back with a comeback saying, well, maybe you could have taken my advice. Maybe you wouldn't lose when the championship match for the AEW title versus MJF like you did. Yeah. And then that's when Sam Guevara looked like he was about to walk away out of frustration before he would knock out Chris Jericho. And then fans were like, hug it out, like calm down. And he was like, funny thing, 4 years you became AEW World Champion right here in Chicago. Funny thing, yeah, because they were in Chicago at this week's episode of AEW Dynamite. They were in Chicago, Illinois, and it looks like they're going to stay there. And probably despite the rumored suspension, which could be true at this Saturday's AEW Collision, which probably CM Punk probably won't make appearance, nor Jack Perry because of the brawl from backstage after their respective match. And then it's been noted that Tony Khan suspended him. I don't know how many days, but we're probably not going to see him for the next few weeks to come, at least, like probably for 30 days, like a 30-day suspension. And even afterwards, they probably won't be so hurry up to put them back on the show unless they have any immediate plans. But anyways, But yeah, that's true. 4 years ago, I remember even watching the highlights that he beat Hangman Adam Page to become the AEW, the inaugural AEW World Heavyweight Championship, and it was right at Chicago in their All Out pay-per-view, the first ever All Out 4 years ago in 2019, which I very first started playing out is the Super Ninja Austin guy, but that'll be more. That's a story for another day. For when we're doing wrestling news or any wrestling podcast in general, or about me and genuinely as Super Ninja Austin. But back to this little promo, this duo promo with the Spanish God and the Le Champion or the Ocho and the Demo God. But anyways, and then that's when. And then that's when Sammy Guevara's like, well, then what happened 24 hours later? You lost that very championship outside of a steakhouse. And that's when everybody was chanting like, whoa. And then he's like, right in Jacksonville, Florida. Like, that makes some kind of a champion that was kind of champion that you want me to follow, Ocho? Which was very put together because it's telling the story about when Jericho became the first ever AEW champion. He lost it a day later when he went to a steakhouse restaurant in Jacksonville, Florida. Which I remember watching that particular news about that on the Wrestling Particular News that Jericho lost the AEW World Championship, and I believe it nearly got stolen until he finally got it back probably with the help of the authorities. But yeah, that was perfect that they mixed kayfabe and reality. Like in kayfabe that Jericho and Sammy Guevara is not sure if they will be on the same page. Like with Jericho saying like you could have hit Floyd the baseball bat in the face with Will Ospreay more harder, he would have won. And then Sammy Guevara argued him back saying you could have hit the Judas Effect even harder because he hit him as hard as he could. And then he's like, maybe, and then that's when they got to the point of being world champions. They like you could possibly be AEW world champion if you could follow my orders directly. And then that's when Sammy Guevara said some champion you like, but first he was like, well, and that's when he's like, you could have beaten MJF for that championship back in Double or Nothing, and he was like, yeah, when I get another opportunity for the AEW championship, and he was like, at least I'm not gonna lose it at a steakhouse in Jacksonville, but y'all like how they do it together, like they're still friends and brothers into to the former Jericho Appreciation Society, and also is a duo, even though they no longer have Jake Hager, Anna Jay, Sammy Guevara. Daniel Garcia, Matt Menard, Angelo Parker, and Jake Hager. But it's just the two. And he was like, okay, never mind that. And when when Sammy Guevara gave him such a comeback response, he was like, you know what, forget what we were saying. Let's perish the thoughts and say anything more that we might regret later. And get to the point. Hey, listen, this is you and me now here. Jericho and Guevara, we've been together since day one here in AEW, from the very first episode of Dynamite. And then let's get back to what we do best. And let's get back to being together, having each other's back, and not throwing barbs at each other. And let's reunite the sex gods, you and me, Guevara and Jericho, and let's go after what we rightfully earned, a chance to become the AEW World Tag Team Championship. And then he was like, what do you say? What do you say? And then that's when the fans started saying, hug it out, for the third time into this segment. And then that's when he was like, I don't know, this could be some kind of a trick. And then this is when Sammy Guevara hugged it out. He started hugging him. And he was like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. And then that's when Sammy Guevara nodded his head, looked like he'd probably accept Jericho's offer. He was like, next week, we're we're gonna be in a tag team match for the AEW World Championship, and you will see the AEW World. And then he was like, I don't care. That's what Jericho said at the. He was like, "You can boo, you fans can boo all y'all want, but there's gonna be new AEW World Tag Team Champions next week." And no offense, Mr. Chris Jericho, I'm not sure that's gonna happen. Even though I could see between the timeline, like with Jericho and Guevara getting another opportunity for the AEW World Tag Team Champions, and then they'll be like we finally got a chance of doing this, and we're not gonna fail, and it's gonna probably be on AEW's one of their pay-per-views with whoever being AEW World Tag Team Champions. They're finally gonna achieve their dreams as the duo, as the Sex Gods, and become the titles that they're rightfully looking for. But what do you think? Are we really, really, really gonna have AEW World Tag Team Champions, or FTR gonna retain? And then we're gonna see another argument about they're not doing what each other, not exactly doing what they ordered them to do. I think that's what's gonna happen, and then this is when we'll probably see a heel turn with Chris Jericho. I'm not sure if he's gonna join Don Callis' family, wrestling family, but for now, I believe they're gonna start a feud, which is probably gonna be heading off to until probably AEW Full Gear in November. But yeah, what do y'all think? Is that exactly going to happen with Jericho, Chris Jericho, and Sammy Guevara losing against FTR next in not 7 days? I'll say wait, the AEW. Let's see. You said AEW World. Yeah, this is when they hugged it out. I'll say I'm not sure if it's gonna be next week. Like, I don't know when this is gonna be, but because Jay White specifically challenged, put a challenge for looking eye to eye to Dax Harwood to challenge FTR and the Young Bucks in a tag team, in a 8-man tag match. So it's probably definitely not gonna be next week. I like to apologize for making that very, very bad error, and I'm gonna correct it. But yeah, what do y'all think? Y'all let me know about this. About this. What about this story? This segment and the storyline, completely down in the comments below, and then we're gonna. This is when John Moxley appeared on the camera backstage, and he was talking to both Claudio and Willer Yuta, the two other members of the Blackpool Combat Club. He was like, like for the AEW International Championship, and the main event is going to be on the line, and then it's also going to be on the line at All Out this weekend in Chicago, Illinois, which we're in the city right now, and I'm gonna phase whoever. And I'm going to phase whoever's the winner tonight. Whether if it'll be Penta, Orange Cassidy, it doesn't matter. Like I'm gonna basically brutalize and murder them, which he didn't say murder specifically. That was my word of describing what he was saying. Like he's gonna basically beat him to death, beat one of the two to death. Like whoever walks out is international champion. And if it's Orange Cassidy, I was thinking, like, if it's Orange Cassidy, then I was like, this was the greatest and the longest reigning international championship in the title's lineage, and maybe the only championship, because because the only two lineage of the All Atlantic Championship was the Bastard Pack and freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy when he beat him, and he held that title until probably for a few months until the beginning of 2000 and like January of 2023 this year, and then he's been introduced as the AEW International Championship, which reminds me of a AEW version of the IC title in WWE, and then. But yeah, back. They're gonna face what does the three have in common? Well, everybody in the business all across the sport are full of it nowadays. Like everybody has a gimmick. Everybody has a catchphrase. Everybody has it all. Like, which was probably a wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Probably the WWE. Like right now, I don't know what could be this wink, wink, nudge, nudge too about WWE having too many catchphrases and gimmicks. But he also probably referring to AEW being way more goofier than the '80s era. Like, but yeah. And then John Moxley's like, this is not about Bark or any of that. Like the wrestler leaves Chicago this weekend at AEW All Out with the International Championship will be the wrestler with the biggest bite into the game. And then that's when him and Claudio and Yuta walked out of there. But what do you think? Again, yeah. Y'all let me know down below. And we got Willer Yuta taking on Eddie Kingston for his New Japan Strong World Openweight Championship from New Japan Pro Wrestling, which, like for y'all that haven't heard about the news about Eddie Kingston, he's currently holding New Japan Strong Openweight Championship, which he recently won probably like a month ago when he was off of AEW television to work a few events with the Japanese promotion, and then on his first match, I believe it was the openweight title was on the line, and he won it, and he's been regularly defending it. I don't know how many times he's defended, but for those who do, y'all let me know down in the comments below. But yeah, let's get back in the match. Willer Yuta taking on the reigning defending New Japan Strong Openweight Championship on the line, champion in the championship on the line, and then we got this is when Willer Yuta let's get to the match. This is when Eddie Kingston started chopping away, taking a journey to Chop City, trying to chop, like he was chopping so much, which was probably like 100 million times, to the point like he could have beaten Gunther into a chop off, or a chop contest, I should say, so at some kind of a fairgrounds, like when they're doing a chop contest, like see who got the most power of chopping into the world of professional wrestling. Which Gunther was doing it so fast, like he could have broken the Guinness World Record of the most chops. And then he'll probably be probably having a gimmick, and then that means he'll probably have a gimmick of breaking records, just like another certain pro wrestler that don't want to bring up other wrestling promotions. Like, boy, what is that wrestling company is? But anyways, this is when Eddie Kingston put him on the ground. He tried to go for a 3, but he only got a 2. Eddie Kingston. This is when I believe Eddie Kingston tried to hit an Instagiri. I don't know. Instagiri. I mean. But yeah, no, Eddie Kingston. He trying to go for the back fist for the win to finish him off and be such a quick and reigning and in best defending open weight championship into the championship history of New Japan. But Willa Yuta didn't take that. He blocked his back fist. He tried to go for an Instagiri. Or no, I'm right. Yeah, Eddie Kingston did. He tried. I mean, he hits elbow to Eddie Kingston's back. Eddie Kingston hits the Instagiri. My apologies, but this is when Willa Yuta did a swinging rebound right off the bottom ropes, and then went back and hit him with a German suplex with only a 1-2.7 count, and then Willa Yuta tried to go for a frog splash, but Eddie Kingston had the knees up. Eddie Kingston hits him with a dragging jacket back suplex. And then he almost got the 3, but he only got a 2.8 second count. Eddie Kingston started being more and more angry and anxious. And then this is when Eddie Kingston start. This is when but Willa Yuta hits him with a Piper's Plunge kind of movement. He tried to go for a pin, but he kicks out for the 2 count, and then this is when they started slapping Eddie Kingston. But that looks like it didn't even faze him, because he was such in a raging mood, like to the point like he could have beaten 10 different wrestlers with each title defense against Willa Yuta. My bad. But anyways, yeah. He could have beaten the whole entire Blackpool Combat Club and his former buddies, Santana and Ortiz, the Proud and Powerful, and so much more. Like, probably beat the whole entire AEW roster. Judging by his facial expression, what kind of move that he's like in the move. Like, he was starting to hit the chops, and then Eddie Kingston, he started hitting him like he was about to. It looked like he was about to hit a baseball right into Willa Yuta's face, looking like a pitcher in wrestler's clothing. He tried to go for another chop. Willa Yuta grabs on his own, and he started hitting him with trying to hit a separated shoulder armbar, which nearly got Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston nearly fainted into the move. Willa Yuta forearmed him, but Eddie Kingston was still going on. He tried to hit him a running move, like probably hit a running fist move, but Eddie Kingston ducked. He hits him with the double Nelson suplex, and then that's when Eddie Kingston got back up. He was waiting for him to hit the back fist, which he finally successfully executed. He's like, you want another? Like, make this a bonus with another big back fist, which Willa Yuta was out for the count. Like, he got the 1, 2, 3, and he retained the New Japan Strong, the New Japan Strong Open Weight Championship. I'm keep getting the IWGP Never Open Heavyweight and the New Japan Strong Championship champion mixed up. But yeah, he got the win. He retained. And what do you think about this reign as the New Japan Strong Champion? Y'all let me know down below. And then this is when Claudio Castagnoli came out. He started walking around the ring side by side, looking like he wants a shot at Eddie Kingston's New Japan Strong Open Weight Championship, which I would say, like, they should do this match. We're going to do a winner takes all match for Claudio's his Ring of Honor Championship with Eddie Kingston's Japanese promotion championship. But yeah, y'all let me know what y'all would think down below. But this is when Cesaro picked up Willa Yuta and tried to wake him up into back to his conscience and his senses. He started walking towards the back from the front entrance. Eddie Kingston celebrated with the fans. He started holding up his has successfully defended championship. And then we're gonna move on to MJF against MJF and Adam Cole, about like when MJF, like I said on the recap, he finally hits the kangaroo kick on both members of the Aussie Open, Mark Davis and Kyle Fletcher. And this is when Adam Cole and MJF pointed at each other saying, double clothesline, and they double clothesline Kyle Fletcher. Yeah, Kyle Fletcher, and then they got the 1-2, and they became the AEW World Tag Team, and then they showed them in the AEW for the AEW. And then this is when Roderick Strong tried to talk some kind of sense, but he looking like a jealous, like everybody said, a jealous girlfriend, or looking at normalcy as a jealous. He's playing this jealous best friend, but like. What he shouldn't be, and if he has something against MJ, he should do it when the time is right to expose him. Like for us wrestling fans being invested into this story, like maybe we're thinking like into the storyline's perspective, like that Roderick Strong should show why he shouldn't be best friends with MJF, and he's only using him just so he won't get a shot at AEW. His shot at his AEW World Championship and even do some of his dirty work for him to retain it. And he's like, you hold on to, and then MJF's like, don't worry about the championship. And then that's when Adam Cole was convinced by MJF and he embraced him. And then they would have. But this is when we had a backstage. We had like from last Sunday's back in the locker room segment with MJF talking on the microphone saying, or MJF's like, he's like, damn it, I always want to say congratulations and I want to apologize. And he was like, yeah, Adam Cole's like, yeah, it was a free accident out there. And he's like, again, this is congratulations for retaining. And then MJF's like, I'm gonna have to cut you off right there. Like you almost broke my neck about 6 times, and then you treat me more like a brother. You make me wrestle more. What he said. He almost broke his neck this time, and you feel like a brother. And you wrestle more match than I ever did in 2 months. And also, okay, like that, Mark, Tony Khan just wants you to just like, and then that Mark Tony Khan just added a tag team battle royal to who determines to be the number one contenders for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championship. And then yeah, this had me thinking like what is up with MJF? What is up with MJF calling Tony Khan a Mark? Like it's kind of catchy, but it's kind of silly in a way. I was like, maybe he should continue doing this until the day he leaves AEW, and then maybe he realized that until he no longer get to see him again, he's like, maybe I was being a little harsh to Tony Khan, calling him a mark and insulting him and threatening to leave this company sooner than 2024. But that's future Maxwell Jacob Freeman's problems. But yeah, back to the segment. He's like, for who to determine who's gonna get the straps at this Sunday All Out in Chicago, Illinois, and we'll do the tournament. And he's like, we're gonna do a tournament to see who's gonna get to see who's gonna face me for the AEW World Championship at AEW's Grand Slam. Like, make sure you get your tickets right now. He said it quickly, like if he was sponsoring the ticket sales for that episode of AEW Dynamite at Grand Slam, which I believe is like at the end of September, but September 20th. Yeah, that is near the end of September. He said, get your tickets now at September 20th at AEW Dynamite. And he said, I'm going to eat a baguette, and then I'm going to make some. get some racks, and then I'm gonna meet you at Chi-Town. I'm gonna hit a kangaroo kick, and then we're gonna quiz. Like, sound good? And then Al goes like, that sounds great. Like, that's great. Like, and and he's like, if I ever wanted a day off with somebody, it would be you, Jackson, Maxwell. And he's like, thank you, my brother. He's gonna bang some rats. Yeah. Rats. Yeah. Whatever that means. What it means. Yeah, quiz. Like, and then we're gonna be quiz. Like, that sounds good. Like, chips. Like, anybody, there's a week off. Like, if anybody if anybody deserves a week off in this business, it's definitely you, Mr. Maxwell. And he's like, thank you, my brother Cole. And then they handshake, and they exchanged "I love yous," and then Adam Cole walked out of there, and this is when MJF's like, week off finally, like we're gonna finally get a week off with, like, and so I won't be in this dump, and then. But I think he's gonna be complimenting more of AEW once he leaves. Like if that's only if he leaves sooner, like maybe leave soon in 2024, like when WWE steals him away, and then he start insulting the company, being such well, maybe they should bring him as a babyface, even though y'all all wrestling internet guys probably would disagree and probably shame me for saying this, but it's gonna probably be more entertaining of bringing him right away as a heel, like just be a babyface, like or make him like some kind of a tweener heel and babyface with him like saying like, "What's up, brother, Costa Cody?" and he'll be complimenting everything and everyone except for people that's not buying his fake warm welcomes of his introduction of himself. But something similar to like Stage Creator's video when he made with him talking trash with the likes of Seth freaking Rollins and his dog Tibbles and many more. Yeah, Seth Rollins, Tibbles, and many more. And then he's complimenting Nathan, my man Nathan, Stage Creator, like about it's great him being signed to WSC, but anyway, yeah, like I think like he's gonna keep calling him a Mark Tony Khan and keep insulting and disrespecting him behind his back, like in the wrestling show until he leaves AEW, probably for WWE or any other wrestling promotion that gives a higher bid for his money contract. But yeah, that's like 5 months or even 6. Not 5. I mean 6. Not 5 or 6. Like 4 months from now, because it's about to be September. So January is probably right around the corner. January 2024, and then you're probably gonna see that. But yeah. But what do y'all think about this week off from the Salt of the Earth? Y'all let me know down in the comments below, and then we're gonna move on to the next slide. We're gonna go to but this is when we get to the backstage, and a backstage interview with Sammy Guevara, and she asked him a couple of questions about like Jericho's how Jericho's apology feels to him, and also earning and getting opportunities for the AEW World Tag Team titles. And then this is when Sammy Guevara. And he's like, yeah, like that's right. Like Chris and I was on the same page. And then that's when Don Callis came into the room and interrupted Sammy Guevara. That would probably would pissed off Kevin Owens and now he probably would beat the shit out of him, because he's like, you don't show up in the room unless you've been brought up. Like that's in the first rule in Pro Wrestling 101. But anyways, this is when he's like, sorry, I don't mean to disrupt you, Guevara. It's hard to be Jericho's friend. And listen, like, I just want to ask you that, do you find it challenging having to deal with a sociopath like Jericho? And then that's when Sammy Guevara gave the anger wild eyes right at Don Callis' face. He was like, what you said about my brother Jericho? Yeah. And I'd say brother because that's what Jericho and Guevara said. If it was me, I would prefer nephew and uncle because they're like over 20 years apart. Like, so I wouldn't know that you would have a brother. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I have some uncles, great uncles that are 20, like about 15, 20 years younger than my grandfather and their siblings. And I mean, it could happen, but Jericho's more like a mentor to Sammy Guevara. So I would say this is like an uncle and nephew kind of relationship as the duo of the two. But yeah, back to the segment. And then that's when Don Cal said, I heard that you're pregnant, which he should, I believe he meant to say, I heard that his wife, Ty Mello, is pregnant and she's carrying their future child in Orlando. And then he's like, congratulations, my man. And then he's like, absolutely. And then that's when Sammy Guevara responded and said, get your damn hands off me. Like, I don't need your manipulations just to turn on Jericho because I'm loyal to him to the end, and there's nothing in your power to keep me apart from the guy that helped me got into this wrestling promotion. And he's like, I know exactly what you're up to. Like, you just need to stop talking and be quiet. And you keep talking when you talk. Yeah. And he's like, I have a family, and I didn't leave all of them just to talk to you here in Chicago. And then he's like, okay. And then that's when Sammy Guevara let him know, which was a true statement. That he's like, me and my family is none of your business, and you should stay. And then if you don't stay out of our business, like, then you. What do you say? Like, and if you, like, we did y'all to talk to you, and I get my friends and my family is none of your business, quite frankly. And so get lost. And then that's when he totally got intimidated. He's like, fair enough. Like, I'll leave you alone and let you take care of you, and let you take care of what you doing with your friends and family, and you do you. And I would say, there's a side of me that this could be a tease, like with a bizarre twist that Sammy Guevara could backstab Jericho into the tag team championship match and joins the Don Callis family. And then he can even include Ty Mello and even a couple other Jericho's former teammates of the Jericho Appreciation Society. Whether it be whether it be 2, 3, or not 3, like maybe whether it be like 4 or 5 other members of the five or 6 or 7 or 8, or not 8, I would say, even if it's 5 or 6 members out of the group, like with Jericho being deserted, or it could be just Sammy Guevara, it could be in Ty Mello, and then the rest of his factions with the likes of Juice Robinson, Jay White, and Konosuke Takeshita. And then they're going to probably be feuding with the Jericho Appreciation Society, because I would say they'll probably find a 5th man, and then there'll probably be, and then it could possibly be like with Matt Menard, Angelo Parker, Daniel Garcia, Jake Hager, and teaming, going back to Jericho and teaming with him, and then there'll be baby faces once again. Well, at least Hager and Jericho's case, but it was have Sammy Guevara. I mean, not Sammy Guevara. I'm keep getting Sammy Guevara and Daniel Garcia mixed up. I have them have him and 2.0 as Daddy Magic Matt Bernard and Cool Hand Angelo Parker and teaming with Jericho, and it'll be some kind of a 5-on-5 feud. It couldn't be blood and guts because that's been passed for like 2 months ago, or even a month ago. But yeah, it's gonna be some kind of a similar match. Probably gonna be they're probably gonna build it all up until AEW's Revolution, which will probably be too long because that's like over 6 months from now. But yeah, but what do y'all think about this matter? Y'all let me know down below, and we're gonna go off to the next. We're gonna have a tag team battle royal this Friday on AEW Rampage, which we're gonna have a AEW Rampage review, which will be AEW Rampage Part 3 in the SNA podcast on episode, which I believe it will be episode 19. Episode 20. It'll be my 20th episode of this SNA podcast series. So I hope y'all check it out, and we're gonna recap on who won the battle royal and everything else on Rampage. So stay tuned for that. But we're gonna move on to the next with Adam Cole cutting a promo, walking the ring with the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships around his waist, Ring of Honor Tag Team Championship around his waist, and he cut a very interesting promo, I would describe. Like, even though I haven't really watched much of it, but I would say he was talking about how basically saying about how great was All In. It was the greatest wrestling event in all of wrestling. And then also he brought up about him and Max defeating the reigning Ring of Honor Tag Champs, which is Aussie Opens. And then he started taking the fans. Sorry, I'm yawning because it's getting late. It's like about 2:15 while I'm recording this. And he's like, I'd like to thank every single one of you for making it happen. And then he's like, I'm going to hold my Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championship with MJF. And then in the main event, I challenged the AEW World Championship, which is my tag team. Which wasn't quite perfect the way I planned it to be. And he's like, for the chances I lost. And that hurt a lot. And that hurt really, really bad. And then at some point, I'm going to get another shot at the AEW World title. Like, I definitely know that. Because they're going to be putting more of Adam Cole, baby, into AEW, of course. He's like, my good concern, and I'm going to my good concern, MJ. He's not great but he's not in great shape, but his neck's not in good shape. But this Sunday, All Out live right here in Chicago, MJF's going to be ready to go, and him and I are going to win and retain the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. And there's something very important I need to discuss here today. And then this is when we heard a giant voice saying Adam like twice when interrupting Adam Cole into his promo, like trying to sound like if he's an angry cloud or even God himself by shouting, saying shouting at him like with an angry cloud trying to get some revenge, or God trying to, or not sound like God, like saying like it's time for pay your price in judgment. But yeah, but I don't know what that even means. But I don't even know what that means. But anyways, Roderick Strong interrupted Adam Cole. He shouted got Adam Cole's attention for the third time. I guess third times really are a charm. I'll say probably maybe in pro wrestling as well. But he started shouting. He finally got Adam Cole's attention. This is when he came out with Matt Taven and Mike Bennett, the Kingdom. And then this is when he started telling them, like, my neck health is not important. And then this is when Adam Cole was like, Roddy, this is getting completely ridiculous for what you're doing. And then what you concerned in this way, it's not really doing none of us favors. Clearly, like this is not the same Roderick Strong I met I met from the past 10 years. This is not the same Roderick Strong. He was like, I'm not sure if you're either listening to these two guys. Like, and then this is when Mike Bennett started taking offense to that. He started saying, "Oh, these two guys, like these two guys, like, are you really gonna talk? Like, if you know it, like, are you kidding me right now? Like, you know what, Adam? Like, I'm gonna do story time right now. Like, listen up." Like it's gonna be story time with Mike Bennett, and then that's when the fans start booing it, and then he started telling all the fans to shut up, and then he started continuing saying, and he's like, let me bring you back down memory lane into 2010 in Ring of Honor, like inside ECW's arena, and then that's when the fans started choosing use of words of using. Which they used the F-bomb, telling them to shut the flub up, which they didn't say flub. This is like my PG way of saying what they really said. But yeah, that's a shout out to Simon Miller. And yeah, they were chanting that. And then he couldn't get a word. Harvey could get a word in. And he was like, and then it was, and then this is when he said this is when it was a 20, I believe, it was a 21-year-old Adam Cole and a 25-year-old Mike Bennett. And then I was like, and then that's when everybody started continuing. Cole versus the 25-year-old Mike Bennett. Do you remember what happened on that night on that match? Because I do. And then I can tell by the look in your eyes that you remember that time. And he's like, we've got each other jobs right at that night. And then we start off from there, and we got more and more successful into the pro wrestling business. And I was like, wow, like I remember hearing about Adam Cole starting his career in 2009 a few years ago. But like I did not know back in 2010, like when he was in Ring of Honor, he was exactly my age. Like with my age right now, like he was exactly my age, like from then, and then me now is 21. And he started his wrestling career when he was like 20 years old. Yeah. Which he was very young. Like, what happened to those years? Because he's in his mid-30s. And he's like, and since then, we bond, since back then, like, we bonded for life. And then we did everything together. Like, you were at my wedding, man, when you were at my wedding as the best man at my wedding, man. You even playing my bachelor's party before that. And then think about all the arenas we went to, like the Hammerstein, the Ken Greaves Arena, and we even were in the field right here in Chicago, Illinois. Like we did it all. Chicago, and by the way, Chicago is the worst city in the world. Which I think that was the 10th of making the fans started hating you because not hating y'all. I mean hating him. The fans started hating him, like because he tried to do a tip that make the fans started hating him, and I believe it worked because everybody started booing him because when you start insulting a certain city in their sports team, you're gonna not take that lightly. They're gonna boo the absolute shit out of a heel wrestler who made such an assault right on the microphone. Like they want the fan favorite babyface to beat him down. But anyway, back to the and then it is the worst city to wrestle in, and that's when everybody booed. And this is when, do you think all these idiots really think about you? And you forgot that what these guys meant to you, which was probably a perfect storyline because the last I heard about Adam Cole being part of the Kingdom, or even before that when they started teaming all over all over the country in the independent scene. Like they were known as heel tag teams, and then I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they probably said something insulting to Chicago. But I think everybody forgot about that in Chicago because, like they should do, like because like regardless what someone mean said to you, like in the past, you know the best thing you do is forgive them in the present when they're doing better, and then they're a better person, and then they're very cool to talk to, and very nice person of that, yeah, and they could possibly be your friend. But yeah, like that's what basically Adam Cole is like with his persona, is a baby face, and then I believe Mike Bennett's trying to tell him like you were better than it, like you didn't really care about these idiotic people, and then Adam Cole's like, I guess there's some truth into there, like because that's how I became a pro wrestler in the first place. Which I'll say, even when he was a heel, he was one of my favorite heel wrestlers in the world of professional wrestling back in 2018, 2019, when I used to watch him on NXT. But anyways, this is and this is what he tried to say. But Matt Taven's like, you keep your mouth shut. Like, I know you for a long time, man. This is who you are, Adam. Like, you needed us. You needed the kingdom to take over Ring of Honor. And then when you achieve that, you jump ship to the Bullet Club, and you could pack your wallet with that merchandise money that you were dreaming to have. Which I would say that may be true, but maybe this was the best decision he could have done, like teaming with Adam Cole and the Young Bucks, which that's probably like the best thing that he could have done. But it sounds the way he said he betrayed, but it was an opportunity that he couldn't refuse of joining the Bullet Club, which I believe they was in New Japan, and I believe they brought it over to Ring of Honor. And I think he no longer beat. And this could be some truth what the Kingdom's talking about, but at the same time, they just can't hold any grudges. But I mean, but in a good way, this could be a perfect storyline with Roderick Strong teaming with the Kingdom, and taking on Adam Cole and MJF, and probably a partner of their choosing. And then, and if we're lucky, fingers crossed, the mystery could be the greatest surprise of this year of AEW. It could possibly his former Undisputed Era tag partner, and that person could be none other than the returning from injury Kyle O'Reilly. But we'll see about that in the future. I don't know when that's gonna happen. It's just my theory into this Kingdom and Roderick Strong versus Adam Cole and MJF storyline. And he's like, we were probably up and we were holding up to that title for as long as you did. And then now you want to come back here and say you're a cage man. You're a complete liar for bringing that. You were saying leech you always been, and now you let off that Corby Malvin, which I believe he was taking a shot at MJF, and he also said you think that's the gateway to the AEW title picture. And that's when Adam Cole's like, no, that's not the case. Like at first, like I wasn't so keen. He was looking like he wasn't so keen of joining. And I'll say I can agree with that. But it was Tony Khan's call to be a tag team when they were scrambling up random wrestlers to form as a tag team in the tournament. And then they realized they make a great team. They're probably like the I wouldn't say second best, but I'll say they're the other best put together pairing tag team next to RK Bro, which RK Bro's in WWE, while MJF and Adam Cole, which they're known as I'm Better Than You, Baby, is in AEW. And then this is when Matt Taven also said, like, you didn't know standing people that real trust you. I believe you thinking all alone, achieving it all, and that's the only person you always ever cared about is yourself. And he was nothing but a selfish, evil friend. But I would say it's entirely, but I mean, he probably did some sacrifices in order to get some of that success. And then Adam Cole was like, do you know that is a fact? And he was like, listen, And then this one he responded, and he's like, truly, I'm so sorry about the things what I did from the past. And because I know we were on very close at one point as the kingdom. When we learned about friendship, how important it is to be understanding of each other. And then the three of you accept the fact that Max is not only my friend, like, damn it, he's my best friend to be the exact. And that's when I saw, no, I can't accept that. I just can't accept you being with that evil demon prick. Like, I'm in the Grand Slam tournament, and I'm gonna do. And then he's like, I'm in that Grand Slam tournament in September for AEW's Grand Slam. For AEW's Grand Slam for the AEW World Title, and I'm gonna do something that you failed to do, Mr. Adam Cole. Like, I am gonna beat Mr. Maxwell Jacob Freeman, like, for his AEW World Title, and he's gonna, beat him in the middle of the ring and become the new, with my real friend Mike and Matt by my side, supporting me on. So if you don't mind, my real friend, you'll be rooting for me too. You wouldn't like, and then he was like Roddy, like you and I know that, like, you get, you know. And he's like, that's not possible for you to compete at this upcoming tournament for AEW's Grand Slam Dynamite for the AEW World Title. And he's like, because you're next, probably not clear enough to compete. And then Roger saw, like, oh, my neck's not clear enough. Adam Cole is finally, like, and it's like, finally, Adam Cole is starting to care about me. And lucky me, like, so, in a sarcasm voice. And then he's like, unlike your soft tag team partner, like, I don't need a roll up, I don't need a diamond ring. Like, heck, like, I don't need a neck as 100% to win in this match. Like, especially when I get this opportunity for the title. And he's like, I'm winning that tournament because I am wrestling legend. And I'm a wrestling legend, which I'm not sure if that's the best nickname that any wrestler came up with, unless they actually are the wrestling legend to earn that term. But it's whatever, I suppose. Like, and that's when they dropped the mic. And then that's when Adam Cole was trying to get Roderick Strong back. He was like Roddy, like, I was not trying to, I did nothing wrong. Like, you need to come back here and listen to me. I had to do what I got to do is an AEW performer, and that's in order why I'm gonna get what I want. But, like, I'm not meant to do this to take you off and no longer be friends with you. Like, but I see what they're doing. Like, they're planting seeds from their past, like when they were wrestling in indie events from over a decade ago, like, and even over a dozen years ago, and even when they were in Ring of Honor's The Kingdom, like, he decided to join the Bullet Club and make that merchandise money, like, regardless, and a guaranteed the merchandise money to make him be more of a star, and he forgot all about us. And then he's doing the same with Roderick Strong. But I see we're gonna do this match, but we're gonna do the Kingdom against. But I'd see what they're gonna do. Like, what if they're gonna do it at a Ring of Honor pay-per-view, or at AEW Full Gear, or probably anytime after AEW's Grand Slam at the end of this AEW Grand Slam Dynamite. At the end, after the end of September, they're going to do probably a Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championship match, probably on one of these episodes of AEW Dynamite, at AEW Dynamite, and then it looks like that the Kingdom was nearly going to win, but this, I know this is going to look like I'm about to say Roddy going to help Adam Cole, but no, like, this is going to be a match, just a normal match. Like, Roddy will probably attempt some kind of interference, but he'll come backfire, and he'll flunk the plan of flunked the plan of bringing down either man to help the Kingdom win the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships, but that's the future plans is probably going to be planned on. Like they're already planning on from the next couple of months anyway, so we're going to see what's probably going to happen, guaranteeingly. But yeah, what do y'all think about my analogy and statistic? Like y'all let me know down in the comments. But yeah, like I'm starting to be interested and 100% invested into this story, like and then also be invested of this Adam Cole and MJF tag team. I'm better than you, baby, is like next to RK Bro because they're on that level. What I wouldn't say like I'll say both of them are goofy and both of them are goofy as hell, and then they're like two different guys that looks like they are way out of their league. Like one of each other way out of their league of being a team. Because they have nothing in common as in-ring competitors, but they made it work. It all started with that tournament. But yeah, we're gonna talk about more of this later, and then we're gonna move on to the next segment. We're gonna have and this is when Alex to what's that Alex Tailriz that Alex, yeah, I forget his last name, but he started hyping up for tonight's pay-per-view. Like he's like, not only Penta's gonna beat Orange Cassidy and end his long defended reign is the international title. Like he's also gonna take it over. I believe how many days they have from now? 4 days from then, 4 nights from now to finish it, John. And he's like, Penta said after he beats Orange, that's it. John Moxley, he's gonna make you bleed like you never bled before. Which let's hope he's not attempting murdering the former AEW World Champion, the former Dean Ambrose. But I'll say me for real, I think he's not. But I believe he's probably gonna get to that point, at least near to that point, and it's gonna be Simon's probably gonna have a field day with a crime encounter, even though it's not the main event for the World Championship. But heck, like it's headlining a pay-per-view, and then everybody's caring about this pay-per-view, which is gonna be probably very interestingly entertaining. But I'll say sorry, I'm probably gonna have some sad bad news later on who's gonna lose, which we're gonna get there later on. But and he's like, this is the championship that anybody ever had, and that's when Penta did the Cero Miro into his promo. This is when we had a 6-woman tag match with the TBS champion Trish Statlander teaming with Hikaru Shida and Dr. Britt Baker DMD, which I'm not gonna bore you with that much. Like I'm probably gonna have to speed it up a bit because it is getting late, and I've been doing this video for over an hour and a half. So I'm gonna get to the point. And they were taking on let's see who they were like Nyla Rose and okay, there it is right here. Against the Native Beast, Nyla Rose. We have Marina Shafir and Emi Sakura, which I believe it only lasted for a little bit over 5 minutes. But anyway, yeah, it was just probably a filler 6-woman tag match. I'm not trying to diss on the women. And I can kind of see what everybody's talking about this women's division. They don't care much about because it's the way that they It's the way they booked him in a way, like of giving him some spare time that's hardly any time at all. Like, and then yeah. But I mean, they're not disrespecting the women's division. They just need to pay attention on what time they give them and how to schedule and book them. But yeah. That's when Chris Statlander started hitting forearms after forearms. That's when he hit the dragon screw, but it looks like but she picked her up in the electric chair position into a face buster. Looks similar to a move Rhea Ripley would have done. But Nyla Rose ran her over, and that's when her and Naomi Sakakir started double teaming her. She tried to attack. She halfway did the job onto Britt Baker and Hikaru Shida, and then they try to go for the. But Britt Baker, and then she tried to hit her with a move, hit her with a right hand, but she accidentally hits Hikaru Shida, something similar from last week on AEW Rampage, but it was this time Britt Baker actually, but Nyla Rose ducked right out of the way. And then that's when Nyla Rose hits a chokeslam right into Britt Baker. This is when Chris Statlander went from behind to try to go for a side kick, but she dodged it off, but she forearms Nyla Rose. She throws Marina Shafir outside. Nyla Rose tried to go for a clothesline, but Chris Statlander was ready for it, so she hit her with a clothesline. This is when then Chris Statlander went on the top rope and then just hit her across the body. She threw Marina Shafir right into the ring. This is when Chris Statlander hit her finishing move, the Wednesday Night Fever. That's what it's called. She hits it with the Wednesday Night Fever. She gets the 1, 2, 3, and then here's your winner, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, Hikaru Shida, and the reigning defending TBS champion, Chris Statlander, and they celebrated tonight's win. Well, but it didn't seem like that Hikaru Shida and Britt Baker was on the same page, and then Britt Baker was trying to make her understand that she didn't intentionally hit her with a right hand. It was all just a massive mistake. But Hikaru Shida didn't have none of it. But which that kind of made her hypocritical. But at the same time, she didn't understand because she got hit and it was by accident. But Britt Baker while she was trying to explain to her, this is when Ruby Soho came from behind and she turned Chris Statlander around. She hits the No Future and she runs out of there. And then Hikaru Shida and Britt Baker try to come in for the current TBS champion aid. And then this is when Ruby Soho grabbed her championship. She nearly stole it. She was like, "This is gonna be mine at AEW All Out." I'm like, very funny. Like, if there was any plans that you were being AEW TBS championship, it clearly wouldn't be this Saturday or Sunday. I keep getting Saturday and Sunday mixed up with the AEW events. But anyway, yeah, like you were like, but yeah, like it probably wouldn't be planned until you got into a bigger moment. Like you just started challenging what's her name, Chris Statlander. Like you haven't really did much but sending backstage interview messages to her and then exchange it back for her words. But yeah, she started bragging. It looks like she was about to take a page out of Nyla Rose's book, but she had no choice but to leave it because she's pretty much not the champion, at least just not yet. When she laid it on the ramp, she was like, "Enjoy your reign right now because it's not gonna last forever. It's not gonna last for any longer in the next 4 days. And then she's looking like a, what's that you call it? Like a girl with a short hair with the green dye hair, like looking like some kind of a gothic cool teenage witch, which I used to call her the Ink Witches from that time in 2020 when she was teaming with Liv Morgan. And I used to call her the black and white Ink Witches, which have all my family crack up. But now remembering that, like, I was like, I cannot hardly wait to say that again if they reunite. Whether if any like in the next few years, Ruby Soho comes back to WWE or Liv Morgan joins her and becomes all elite and start teaming with her former Riot Squad friend. And then they'll be known as probably a different name, probably similar to the Riot Squad, but it'll probably be something Soho, like something of the Soho or whatever. I don't know. Please don't start judge me down in the comments below. But let's move on to the next slide. And then we got this guy named for AEW All Out, we got Shane Taylor, this guy from Ring of Honor. He said he's gonna promise Samoa Joe's gonna knock his ass out at this Sunday's pay-per-view, which he's been holding that Ring of Honor television title for quite a while, if not already a year. He's been holding that title for a year, for a year at least, I'll say, because ever since he came to AEW, he also wrestled on Tony Khan's new improved Ring of Honor brand, and then became the AEW World Television Championship. But yeah, like something tells me like we'll probably see Samoa Joe full time on AEW, and then we're gonna see him drop the title to Shane Taylor right into. That's my prediction. Like, by the way, it's not a spoiler. So I'll say I believe that he's gonna bring him a fight. Don't get me wrong. It's not gonna be a squash match. It's gonna be a back and forth contest. But I believe Shane Taylor, even though I'm unfortunately not gonna watch All Out, but I'm going to predict that Shane Taylor, even though I don't watch Ring of Honor, but I believe he's going to win. He's going to be the new Ring of Honor TV champion onto the Ring of Honor show. And then this is when they start talking about other matches of the upcoming pay-per-view. And this is when we have the Acclaim came out and did an introduction of unveiling the new AEW Trios tag titles with them looking like the original Trios titles when the Death Triangle and the Elite was. And then but the only thing different about it that the straps was red, and then it had their signature scissor me scissors image right into the side of the red straps. And and tell everybody tell Trey you say hi, but tell and Trey you say hi to everybody else. Okay, that's a close enough. But anyway, they introduced them and they look like tag.
Yeah.
Well, and what you thought about the trios tag titles that the Acclaim and Daddy Ass, or should I say the Badass Billy Gunn, the returning Badass Billy Gunn. But no. Trey you. But anyway, the Badass Billy Gunn, Trey you gotta watch. They revealed it. Like, what do you thought about? The top? And then they also said, like, when you look at and they also said, when you look at Billy's, like, these look kind of dull, just the basic strap championship made out of hard leather. Well, these championships you can. Max had a little surprise. Excuse me, Trey. That's what he said before, and then that's when they finally have it. And then this is where we head on to the main event, and I'll say this match was more than it reached more than just expectation. It was even great to watch. I was even watching this during while I was cleaning up, and and it was very entertaining. It was so I just cannot keep my eyes off. And I'm not trying to be too much of a positive peak, but this match was really good. It showed what the reason why the fans should be watching. They put on a great show. And Penta got most of the offense. He started hitting them with movesets such as the with moves with suplexes and Fisher Busters. And then Orange Cassidy hits a suicide dive. Penta sold it very well. He did a backflip looking like he's been exploded by a ticking time bomb, from Mario Karts. He did it so much, it looked like he's actually like a cartoon luchador. But this is when Orange Cassidy tried to go for a move right off the top of the steel steps. This is when Penta intercepts and counters the move and hits him with a super kick. And then this is when he's seeing Mill in front of the camera, woo! Boasting and taunting that he's going to win the AEW Trios Champion. AEW, not Trios, AEW International Championship. And then this is when they get back to the ring. And then when they were outside, I want to let y'all know, when they looked when they were in the outside, it looks like looked like if it's some kind of a lights out or false count anywhere match. But it was just a normal match, and it still looked like something worth watching. And then this is when we got back in the ring. Penta hit him with a rolling flying head scissors to the freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy. And then he tried to go for a bounce springboard leg drop right into Orange Cassidy. He only got a 1 and 2 kick out at 2.1 seconds. I was like, man, Orange Cassidy, he may be small, but he's tougher than an ant and a spider combined with his super strength. And then this is when Penta hit him with a step up instigiri right into Orange Cassidy. He nearly fell off of the hardest part of the ring, which is the ring apron. This is when he hit the stunt dog. This is when Orange Cassidy hit the stunt dog millionaire. What Uncle to do? Okay, one more. I mean, not one more. Okay, this will be one game right now during my podcast. Okay, one game. Oh, sorry about that. Uncle missed. Okay, let's do more after this podcast. But anyways, we have Orange Cassidy hitting a flying spinning DDT right into Penta, and then this is when we try to go for a pin. Oh, this is when, but yeah, my little nephew Trey wants to play some baseball in this room. I mean, I would blame him. After all, this is his room. But anyways, this is when both men were down. This is when they're slowly getting back up. This is when Penta tried to hit him, and then this is when Penta. Okay, try to get that. But anyway, this is when, let's see, right here. This is when Penta hits a like a running heel punt kick, or not hit, more like a toe punt kick, hit right into the midsection of Orange Cassidy. I'm surprised that didn't put him away. Put him away easily. If I thought of this, if this wasn't predetermined and scripted, Trey, it's okay. Keep swinging. There you go. But anyways, but yeah, this is when. Okay, Uncle will try. As soon as he gets done, this is when he hits Orange Cassidy with the backstabber. He kicks out with a 2.0 seconds pinfall. This is when Penta started being shocked. How is this guy kicking out? He's hitting him every single brutal dangerously brutal, horrifying moves that would probably will handicap a normal person. But this is when he continues. This is he started hitting him with a throat. Started headlocking and hitting his throat right into the ropes, into the middle ropes. Of course, this is when the referee was like, all right, like that's enough. Like you have 1, 2, 3, and then he put him back. This is when Penta went on the outside. There's a guy dressed up in the referee. They started having really bad tensions. I'm not sure if this is part of the show or if they really said something that made each other mad, like the fan and Penta. And then this is when, Trey, be careful. Anyways, but yeah, let's get to the point. We got. Let's see. We're going to get to the point. We're going to end this. This is when first Penta tried to go for a sit-out power. Orange Cassidy hits him with a running forearm. And then this is when he runs right into the corner. This is when he gets super kicked. This is when he's like, see you, Mir. And this is when he super kicks. He did the super kick of his own right on to the one half of the Lucha Brothers. This is when he tried to go for a run. This is when he went right after him. He said, "Where'd Penta go?" And then he came out of nowhere with that sling blade, looking like a very powerfully phenomenal sling blade. That's how I would describe it. Incredibly phenomenal. Yeah, incredibly phenomenal with the sling blade. And then this is when they try to hit another cover to try to become the AEW the International Championship. This is when Penta's trying to go for another super kick. Looks like that will be it right there. But what Penta did not know, and what the rest of us, like Orange Cassidy, were going to kick out of that. And then us wrestling fans, even though we would want to have Orange Cassidy have a more lengthier reign, but like wrestling Penta tonight, it looked like Penta was about to get the gold and defend it against Jon Moxley at this Sunday's AEW All Out. And then he started keep hitting him, and he started hitting him in the arm, hitting him with the arm, with the hand, with the wrist tape and the elbow pad. He started nonchalantly tapping Penta when it started slapping, like looked like fake slaps, like everybody started chanting, and everybody like, oh, like it's similar to Daniel Bryan's kicks, like the yes kicks, like yes. And then this is when he hits Penta with a very harmful Canadian destroyer, which I probably believe I believe that it's very 100% safe, because the wrestlers are being an AEW known to be the safest workers the most safest workers. I think I won't say all of them, but I'd say they'll be known as the safest workers into the All Elite brand and overall professional wrestling. So I bet Penta feel all right, maybe a little bruised up from taking a hit, but this is when right after Penta hit his Canadian destroyer of his own, and he did the flip pile drive right into Orange Cassidy. I was surprised that Orange Cassidy got back up. I'm like, how in the living hell did Orange Cassidy got back up from that Canadian destroyer? Usually, everybody would sell that like a champ of selling finishing moves or any wrestling moves that are very impactfully that's brutally impact. Yeah, I should say like impact or brutally impact. Like, but yeah, Orange Cassidy looks like a kind of guy that's more power than any. And then this is when Orange Cassidy hits another one, and then this is when Orange Cassidy started going crazy, started hyping up, and he started getting back up, looking like if he was a young cool Ric Flair, like that. Started wiggling around, then we fall stumbling over, and he's like, let's get it, let's do this, and he tried to hit the orange punch, which Penta dodges into a full Nelson, and then this is when he hits him with a pump handle fisherman slam. This is when they only got a 2.8 second count. This is when Penta was getting more and more exhaustedly frustrated. It was like, when is he going to be put away, and I can win and become the new international championship, and meet Jon Moxley and make him meet his own match, because they already beat him and the rest of the Blackpool Combat Club with their best friends Eddie Kingston, Trent Beretta, and Chuck Taylor. But this is when Penta tried to go for his finishing move, the East Center Miedo sit-out pile driver. But this is when Orange Cassidy hits the beach break, and then he didn't, like Excalibur pointed out, he didn't got all of it. He only got like a flip of it, which only got a 2.6 count. This is when Orange Cassidy gets back up. He tried to go for an Orange Punch, which was the second attempt that was a failure. This is when Penta hits a super kick. This is when Penta was about to hit a maneuver right on the corner of the hardest part of the ring, which is known as the ring apron. This is when right here is, and then Tony Schiavone even agreed of Penta being a bit frustrated about not putting Orange Cassidy fully away. And this is when Orange Cassidy tried to flip him over into a fear factor, but no, this is when Penta finally hits his sit-out pile driver maneuver right on the hardest part. He landed Orange Cassidy right on his neck, which that surprised me that his neck's not broken after that. I mean, but then again, at the end of the day, in reality, they're just trained professionals. So in reality's perspective, they safely hit the move, even though he took the bump, but he did it in a way that's not going to snap his neck. But anyways, that's on my opinion, of course. But at the same time, it looks like it was way too much of an impact. It looked like he could legitimately break his neck, though. Like he just sat him down to the point that his neck could have been broken. And then he tried to go for another one back in the ring, which it looked like it was gonna work, which it did. And then this looked like this is gonna be the end of the show with him winning. But he kicked out at a final kick out this was the final kick out, spoiler alert, that this was a kick out, the biggest kick out, shock kick out that just came out of nowhere. Like that, like it was 2.999999 plus another 9 and equals 9 more, and into a second point away from being 3. And the fans were counting 2, 3. They were like what? Like, even though he has a long historical championship into the champion's lineage, but no one would expect him to keep on winning and expecting not get a kick out response on that second sit out pile driver that looked very devastating. And then this is when Orange Cassidy flips him over into a crucifix pinfall, which is also known as the most devastating move in all sports entertainment to surprise. Well, he got the 1, 2, 3, and he retained it. He retained his AEW International Championship, which he is going to face Jon Moxley for the title at this Sunday at their next pay-per-view, All Out. And yeah, this is when Jon Moxley came in the ring. This is when they started talking trash on each other. And then before that, this is when Orange Cassidy cut a promo. He was like, "Jon Moxley, I'm ready for you." And like I said earlier, like I'm gonna be a totally different Orange Cassidy, and don't come in there and look at me while I'm lying down. I was trying to fix the TV, but it's. And he's like, yeah, my body hurts. And then every time I get the title, I always, and he's like, this is me. And because this All Atlantic Championship means everything to me. Like, and he's like, this is what AEW represents. Putting a person in that was told you'll never do anything, and he's too skinny and too short and too small. He's just a little too different than other wrestlers. And he's like, I'm the champion of the world, and I have the strength of a and he basically was saying like I am bigger. I have the strength of anybody, like even a 300-pounder. And he's like, there's anyone that I can do that can take it from you, like just. And then he's like, and you, including you, John Moxley, because you claim you're gonna do more than just the four, because like I will always be the international championship, because like I'm freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy, and then I do not have a catchphrase, just like I do not have a catchphrase what you were talking trash about. And then this is when John Moxley came out. They have a face-to-face confrontation. This is when they start not shoving. This is when he said something very This is when John Moxley said something offensive to Orange Cassidy, because he gave him a huge slap. They started going head to head, and they were looking at you. And then this is when AEW Dynamite ended. But yeah, like I would give tonight's Dynamite, I'll say about 4 stars out of the 5, because it mostly told stories on every respective feuds, and then even the matches deliver. I would say this deserved to be in the main event spot, and I believe I would say John Moxley and Commander was well deserving of being on the opener, and then Eddie Kingston versus Willa Yuta for the New Japan Strong Openweight Championship was very, very interestingly good. Like I think that tonight's AEW Dynamite was absolutely, I'll say not perfect, but splendid. Like something that you would want to watch into AEW tonight. And what do y'all think about tonight's AEW Dynamite? How you would rank it? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. And then if you like this video, please make sure to give me a huge thumbs up. I would gladly appreciate that. And leave a thought down in the comments. And then also and then check out my next video tomorrow night, which will be the SNA podcast episode 18, I believe, because this is 17. But yeah, anyway, we'll be talking about wrestling news and everything, like all the above. Make sure to stay tuned for that. And then who haven't subscribed to me already, please do, if y'all want to. This is not a force. This is an optional decision. Like. So you can do whatever y'all want. If y'all like the video and the content, make sure you subscribe and click the bell notifications if you want to be notified when my next new videos, and see more of my journalistic wrestling podcast. And in future, I'm probably gonna make it more than just a wrestling podcast. It's gonna be like everything, etc. That's why I just call it just the SNA podcast, because we can talk about so much, and then I hope it's gonna make my channel even bigger and get more followers. I'll say subscribers and likes and views and you name it. Yeah, but like, will y'all let me know anything down below. I've been your host, Super Ninja Austin. This was the SNA podcast episode 17, AEW Dynamite review part 3. Part 3. I'm right. I mean, where we do the introduction. This is I've been your host, Super Ninja Austin. This is the SNA podcast. This is episode 17 of the AEW Dynamite review part 3, and I hope y'all have a great night, and I'll see you all in the next video. and I guess this is it. How embarrassing. Assassin out.